The best places to buy a used Mac? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. So I get asked this all the time. People watch my videos, and I do a lot of videos on older Macs, and they say, where's a good place I can pick up an old iMac or an old MacBook? They just want to buy an old Mac computer, a used or refurbished one that they can trust. So they always ask me, where can I pick one up? In this video, I have 9 different examples. I'll kind of point out the best ones and some of the ones that I'm not, I haven't used myself, but I got 9 different examples I think are pretty good. So sit back and relax, and let's go through all of them, starting with the most obvious one. Let's get into it. All right, I'm just gonna go through the first one like in 30 seconds because it's so obvious, right? Take a look at my screen over here. This is the Apple Refurbished Mac store. Just type in Apple Refurbished Macs and it's gonna come up. In here, you're gonna check these out for a second. So over here, you can see that these are only 90 bucks off right here. This is gonna be the M2 Mac Minis. But if you kind of scroll down, you're gonna see other examples down here. Some of them are up to 230, and I think they even go up to like sometimes 300 bucks off a specific system. Now, you're not always gonna get the most money off on the Apple Refurbished store, but the thing that you are gonna get is kind of Apple's 1-year warranty, and you're gonna make sure that these systems are basically brand new. They're gonna look just pristine when you get them. You're not gonna have really anything to worry about. You're not gonna have maybe things like on eBay where you may have to be, fighting with security and stuff like that. So if you want a little bit off and you want to get a good clean system, Apple Refurbished. All right, number 2 is going to be my favorite, probably that I've used the most, and it's going to be eBay, but hold on a second. Before you go there, let me just show you why I like this, all right? There's a store on eBay, it's called I Sell iMac, see it right here? So that's what I'm saying. They sell primarily on eBay. So I go to eBay, I find this store, or you can just look them up in Google, and they have literally hundreds of different systems. Look at this, I'm scrolling through all, there's 72 per page, they have over 5 pages. So there's gonna be hundreds of old systems on here, systems that you may not, you might just not even find anywhere else, and you know that this company kind of supports this is all they do, right? That's good news. So why do I like this so much? And again, I'm not being paid by them or anything like that. I just bought a lot of systems from them. So let me just pick one out of, just a general one here. I'm gonna pick this listing right here. If you take a look at this, the reason I like this so much is, let me click on view all details right there. Here's the listing on eBay. It's gonna tell you it's a grade B right here. And it tells you it's a 2017 Air for $249. Not too bad, right? But the reason I like it is if you go all the way to the bottom, it's gonna give you exactly what's wrong with it. It says medium scratches and scuffs, light nicks and dings on the body. You can see that. It's also gonna tell you that there's no functional issues. Now, if there was something like a missing port, a port not working, it would list it perfectly right here in this description. That's the first thing, all right? That's really important. The other thing though is if you kind of click on these pictures, it's going to give you the exact pictures of the exact unit you're going to get. It's not going to give you a universal picture, a picture of a unit you're not going to get. It's going to give you the exact one that you're going to get. And you can kind of go through and take a look at all the systems, all right? So here's another, let's just go over here. Here's another example of one of them. It's a MacBook from them. And the reason I like this is I just want to show you. So like if there's going to be problems with it, you can get in there and you can see how there's lamination on the screen. So you're going to see all that in advance, right? And you're going to see all the problems with it. But when you click off of it, here's a 2017 MacBook Pro. It's going to be an i5, 256 gigs, 8 gigs of RAM for only 279 bucks, all right? But why is it only that much? Because there's issues. Again, if you click on it, you're going to see that there's scuffs on the bottom. All this stuff is great for this site. It's I Sell iMacs. That's my second choice. I say, there's a ton of questionable things out on eBay, but this is one that this is all they do, so I like it a lot. All right, number 3, take a look at my screen. This is OWC. Now, a lot of people don't realize Other World Computing. Just search for it. I'll have all these listings in the description, but just search for it online. And if you go to their website here, you'll see that there's a little category over here called Apple and Mac. See it right there? And if we go down, let's just go to the iMacs here. So we're going to go to, let's see if we can find the iMacs, iMac and iMac Pro. So we'll click on that. So right there, you can see it sells a bunch of used iMacs, and for that matter, a bunch of all different types of Macs up here. It has Mac Minis and Mac Studios. But I'm just going to use the iMac for the example. So you just drill into here and you kind of go through all the different ages here. Let's kind of scroll down a little bit. So let's look at, this is 2015. Here's a 2017, let's just see here, what is this one? 2015 27 inch. So this is the 5K iMac. If I go to, you just click on configure right here, and it's going to give you a lot of different options. So it's $469 for this one here, 5K, not bad at all. But then you can add like different CPUs, you can add different amounts of RAM, only 20 bucks for 16 gig upgrades. Things like that. You can add SSDs in here. So 500 gig SSDs, only $80 increase. And then you're going to get the final cost here. The reason I like this again is because it does this for everything. So if you go back up here and you click on Mac Studios, it may not have, in this case, it doesn't have any right now for sale, so you can't buy that one. Mac Minis, This one has a bunch of Mac Minis in here. So you get the idea. This is a reputable company. These are all tested, and you're going to have kind of a recourse if something goes wrong. So I kind of recommend this site as well. I've used their stuff a lot in a lot of cases, and I've never had problems. Read the return policies and stuff like that, but they're a good company. All right, so number 4 is going to be another obvious one, but there's some caveats. Take a look over here. It's going to be Amazon. So Amazon, if you just type in refurbished Mac, see up here, and you go ahead and do a search, you're going to get tons of listings in here, all different types of used Macs, all different ages, everything, you can buy anything you want on Amazon, right? But keep in mind that it's not always Amazon selling it. So if you look in here, you got to look at the ratings. Some of these things, let's click on this one, for example. You click on this one, and it's just basically, it says renewed, but look at the rating. It's not that good for 21 ratings. You look at over here, and it's basically being sold by All Out Apple, so you don't know much about that company. What I recommend doing with Amazon, if you're going to buy an Amazon product, is you kind of go in here and you start searching around, and let me see if I can even find one in here. Let me go into here. This one might be one. This has got a really good rating here, 4.3 out of 5, so let me click on that. So if I look at this is going to be from Visit the Apple Renewed Store. So it's going to be directly from, Apple, the Amazon Renewed Store, directly from Amazon's Renewed Store, right? So you're going to have a better return policy. You're going to be able to fight it better if there's an issue with it. You don't have to deal with those third-party companies. So if you are going to buy something from Amazon, which I would recommend maybe buying from their Refurbished program or finding another reputable, definitely do your research to find out who you're buying from, because it's not always from Amazon. It's these third parties all the time. And that's the key there. So you can always, it's not always the best. It can be really bad, but you can find some gems out there, and that's how you use Amazon. So number 5 is similar, and take a look at my screen. It's Woot.com, all right? You've heard of this before, I think. So take a look over here. Now this is actually owned by Amazon, so it's very similar to shopping with Amazon, all right? Stay with me here for a second. But the reason I like this is every once in a while, they're going to have specials or Mac specials on their homepage, and you can go in and click on them. They're always going to have some kind of specials in here that you can click on, all right? But that's not what I always, you don't want to wait for those. So you can go in here to computer, see up here, and over here on the right-hand side, or just do a search. There's a search bar. I just searched on iMac there, and you can see that it has a number of used iMacs in here. The reason I like this is because if you click on them, again, they're coming kind of from the Apple Refurbished store, but you can see that it's going to, they're trying to sell these. They're going to give you usually a little bit more money off of them on here, and they're trying to get rid of them. And they're also backed up by, usually, gives you the grade on here, grade A. It's also got some kind of a warranty on it. Although it's being the same thing as almost buying through Amazon's Refurbished program, it's just the ones that they want to push more reliably. You go here and they're going to kind of list the good ones to buy. So I just like using Woot.com as well, and it's just kind of another thing you can kind of try out there if you're interested in buying used Macs. All right, so number 6, take a look at my screen. This is going to be Mac of all trades, all right? You've probably heard of this. I'm not sure if you have or not. They sell just a ton of different, anything from laptops to desktops to iPads, all different Apple products that are used. The good thing with this, again, is this is what they do. So look over here. If you click on a specific listing like this, a lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to get some different options. And you saw the options were there, but then they got grayed out. So this one doesn't have a ton of options. They kind of they're not available right now. But you're going to find some that do, and you can click on them and add more RAM and stuff. This one's pretty particular. It's 16 gigs, 512 SSD. 574.99 for a 2019. So not a bad deal, right? If you want to get a deal on something. It gives you, good or very good. So you get to select the grade yourself. And they don't have excellence, but they have very goods. And you can go in and read about what they're all about. Original battery, you can do that, or you can choose a new battery for $75, which is super nice. That's one of the things a lot of people like to do, so you don't have to deal with the battery later. And they have sometimes warranties on them. You just have to read through this site. But I recommend this site as well because they do it and they have a good return policy if you run into issues, or at least you're not going to get scammed by some kind of malware or something. So check them out. Again, Mac of all trades, macofalltrades.com. All right, so the next one is actually going to be a little unusual. Take a look at my screen. This one's called refurbme. That's the URL actually, so it's refurbme. And the reason, a lot of people always say, well, have you ever tried back market, all right? And I don't highly recommend that because you can get scammed again. You can get something with your malware on it and all that kind of stuff. But this site kind of takes all those from back market and gives you a better option. Take a look over here. So they say, Apple Store says, every product is fully tested and inspected by a professional refurbisher and comes with a 1-year warranty a lot of times. So to track, all you have to do is look for the iMac in here. These are all going to be from back market again, or back market. You click on it, and once you get into the listing, you'll see down here, It's going to give you exactly good condition, fair condition, and you can buy them. So you buy them from, it's kind of a third party that checks out the systems. They go through and make sure they're refurbed correctly. They also give you a 1-year warranty on them, and you're still buying them from back market, but there's kind of an intermediary checking everything out, and it actually helps you then, so you kind of know what you're getting instead of thinking you're going to get something that's going to hurt your system later. This is actually a good option to use, so check them out as well. All right, and the last two are kind of weird here. And again, let me just kind of show you how you have to use these. So look at my screen. A lot of people don't know this. Used Apple computer, I typed into Best Buy, right? Best Buy comes up with a whole bunch of used Apple listings. Now, sometimes it's not going to be the best price. Sometimes it'll be a really good price. You just don't know. The other thing to watch out for is you kind of scroll down, find a used system, and again, this is through Best Buy, but it's not really. You click on it. Let's just click on this one over here. This one says, let me just see, certified refurbished iMac desktop, i5, 8 gigs of memory. What year is this? I don't see it. 2015, $399. So there you go with the price. But look over here. So you got to kind of see where this is coming from. Sometimes it's not being sold directly from Best Buy, and sometimes it is. So you just have to make sure you pick the right listing and also check out, what the reviews are and everything that they're selling you. So you got to make sure that it's coming from someone like a Best Buy so you can return it if you have an issue with it. They do sell third-party stuff in here as well, so they're kind of selling, other companies' stuff on their website. I guess Best Buy got into that just because they're trying to compete with Amazon and all the eBays and stuff like that out there. So it's kind of a weird setup, but they do sell a lot of used stuff here. And at the very least, even if you buy through them, you should have a little bit more recourse if something goes wrong just because you use them. So it's maybe a good option, maybe not, but just think about it. You can always check it out. And then I know there's more than this finally, but I just wanted to wrap up with this last one. It's very similar to the Best Buy one. A lot of people don't know this. If you go to Walmart's website, Refurbished Mac up here at the top, you're going to see that they sell hundreds of refurbished Macs. Now the problem with this is the one thing you got to watch out for is always look at the reviews down here. You're going to see the reviews that have really good reviews, and you're going to see reviews that are very bad. Here's one for 3 reviews only, but they're all 5-star. Here's one review, but it's 1 star. All right. The problem with this is if you click on a listing, and they're all over the place, right? You're going to notice over here that even though this is Walmart, it's going to say sold and shipped by Wombat Reserve. See it over here? So you got to do your research. This is just like all these other companies, including Amazon, although I recommend going through Amazon, their own refurbished program. But here, you don't know who you're buying from. And there's all these different stores and all different storefronts. So you got to do your research. You got to dig down there, find out where Walmart's basically getting it from. And then if you want to buy it from them, you still have that extra recourse, at least a little bit in some cases, that you at least bought it from the Walmart website, right? So you might have a little backing there. It's probably still better than buying directly from eBay and some rogue person. eBay can be good if you know the person that you're buying from, like I showed you the other one earlier, I think on number 2 there. But overall, I'd recommend, this is more difficult, but it's still better, I think, than buying from some rogue person on eBay. Just my opinion. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. It's getting long, so I hope this helps people pick, if they're looking for a used Mac and they want to find one online. These are at least some options that are out there, 9 of them right now. So let me know what you think. I know there's a whole bunch of other ones. If you guys have good options, definitely post them in the comments. Maybe I'll make another video or I'll comment on a video later coming up. Just let me know because I want to find them myself. These are ones I've either used or I definitely have some experience with. So overall, there's all different options out there, but you got to find the one that's right for you and the right cost. We'll talk to everybody soon. Peace.